Welcome to Around the Block, where we dive into the conversations shaping real estate in our community and beyond. I'm your host, Jasmyn Jefferson. But before we begin, I want to give a special thank you to today's sponsor, Sterling Inspection Group. Their dedication to quality home inspections helps give buyers and sellers the confidence they need to make big decisions. And now, what we all came for, Dr. Joshua Garcia, who I have permission to call Josh, right?
Yes, please, Jasmyn.
Thank you. Don't want to make it awkward. But you are the Superintendent Tacoma Public Schools, and people are probably wondering why you are here talking about housing, but we're going to get into that and some other exciting things that Tacoma Public Schools is doing. So for those who are unfamiliar with Tacoma Public Schools specifically, what makes the district special, not just in the classroom, but as part of the greater Tacoma community as a whole?
Yeah, the Tacoma Public Schools we're so fortunate to be part of this wonderful community. Obviously, the greater Tacoma Pierce County community. We spread up into northeast Tacoma, Fircrest, a broader area, and we're approximately 28,000 kids. We're over 50 schools across the district. We have such a diverse community that we serve, and what makes us special is we know that we are just a piece of the community, right? So we work really hard to partner with community-based organizations, families, neighborhoods, to be a part of the community, not the community, but a part of the community. And so we work hard to build trust. We work hard to foster safety. We work hard to build HR appropriate love within the community, to say we want to be a safe place for kids, for staff, for families, and we want to give back, and we want to be we want to be people's neighbors.
Neighbors, like homeowners, renters.
You bet.
So it all ties into real estate.
Everything does.
Absolutely does. I think a lot of times people don't really connect school districts particularly with real estate, neighborhoods, and it really, when I think about it, the planning that goes into communities, sometimes there's a mismatch between the schools and then what the real estate developers are. So I'm hoping to see more collaboration as we continue to grow as a county. I know you have no control over that outside of Tacoma, but I think this is a good step for real estate professionals to see the interconnectedness with the work that you all do. So recently I had the opportunity to go out with Bay Patrol with Communities for a Healthy Bay, and our guide, who is the CEO over there, pointed out a new construction site. There was some fancy things going on over there, and I learned that there's an exciting new initiative on the horizon, and it is the Maritime 253 program. It's the Maritime Skills Center set to open in fall of 2025. So can you give us an overview of what I understand is the first of its kind? What does that look like?
And so, tying just your last comment together, us in the schools, we believe that we have a responsibility to the neighborhoods and to make this region better. And the Skill Center, it's going to open hopefully in the fall of 2026.
26?
So we're
Wow, we're in fall. You mean you're not ready? We're not cutting ribbons?
The funny part is we actually piloted our first Maritime Skill Center classes in the summer of this year.
Okay.
And we did some pilot classes this last summer at Lincoln and Mount Tacoma, and they were very successful. And so we have been doing some soft launches, and that's where it is. But the doors were open up in fall of 2026. And it is the first partnership that we're aware of where a port and a school district have come together to build the port offices and a skill center that will serve all South Sound school districts. And that it means that kids from all the South Sound school districts can come together to learn industry level skills, credentials, stackable credentials. So these are portable stackable credentials where kids can take these skills, they can take them on to higher ed, they're industry recognized, or they can go right into the workforce. And for jobs that all across the globe, or right here in their neighborhoods, right? So we know that the Tide Flats serves over 200 different industries. It's our largest employer, and we've got a responsibility to make sure that we stay strong as an economic engine. so that people can afford those houses,
Yeah.
that they can stay here in our community. And so it is a kind of a full circle responsibility for the schools and the school districts to come together. And it is a collaborative effort. We sign interlocal agreements with the other school districts to serve that. And so it is the way for the school districts to give back, to say, we've got to make sure that we participate and stay relevant, we stay innovative, and that we're making sure that our kids are staying prepared. They're their next generation of buyers, right?
Right. Yeah.
As well as sellers, as well as realtors.
I was, when you mentioned the number of students, my brain instantly went to, I wonder how many of them are going to be in real estate.
I think we're going to have all kinds of young entrepreneurs
Yeah.
and real estate agents out there. And so it's, we've got to be the beacon in the South Sound, and it's time.
It feels like a really good example of getting outside of the box. Obviously I pay attention to some of what Tacoma School, my daughter's 31, so I'm removed. But I do hear clients and agents talking about the different schooling options that the students have and families. And it feels like Tacoma is on the cutting edge, or really thinking outside of the box of what to offer students who have different levels of interest. I was one of those students that I read my books but didn't participate in class, and it would have been helpful to have something else to take me into a better learning environment. Compared to other parts of the country, do you feel like what you guys are doing in Tacoma is cutting edge, or am I just feeling very proud of what you're doing?
Well, it's never a bad thing for you to feel proud, right? We hope that everybody feels proud in that. But to give you some little bit of statistics, in 2012, the Tacoma School District was the first school district that was recognized by the state as a zone of innovation. And we were charged by developing the first policies to say, so what does that mean in our state? And we've used that as a springboard. We've created, since then, the School of Industrial Design and Engineering, the Maritime Skill Center. We launched the Next Move internship program. We launched Jobs 253. We've launched dual language programs in our elementary schools, Beyond the Bell program, Club B. One that we haven't mentioned, we just signed a deal with the LeMay and the city of Tacoma to build a regional robotics center on the LeMay campus.
Wow.
Right. And so we're never going to settle with status quo.
Right.
It's a responsibility that we have to our kids to say that the world is continuing to change, and we've got to keep abreast of that. We build partnerships with higher ed. We build partnership with industry leaders to make sure that we're staying relevant. We know that that's part of our job, and we want school to be fun.
Yeah.
Right? We want school to be engaging, hands-on. We run forklift camps so that kids can earn their industrial certifications over spring break. We do things to keep things exciting for that. And we can only do that with world-class teachers and educators and principals and ESPs and custodians. And I say that all those different folks and security folks, because our maintenance and operations folks, they run pipe fitter classes.
Right. Okay.
And so when you have young females that are trying to be pipe fitters for the first generation and welders, it changes the landscape. And that's what's exciting about Tacoma, is it's a team effort, right? It's Team Tacoma. It's one city coming together to do better on behalf of the next generation. And so I think it's beyond that. Our board's been recognized nationally. We've been featured in magazines. We've philanthropies come in and recognized our work. And so it is exciting. And so your proud moments have been backed by some others from the outside as well.
That's really exciting. And congratulations to your board for that recognition. I know that you are the voice of the board, but it does take the entire group to really move things through. And it's been pretty tough the last few years, it seems like, with education. As far as getting the world-class educators into our school district, how are we doing attracting those folks? Do you feel like there's more room for opportunity? Are there things that people need to hear about our teachers that would be helpful that you'd like to get out?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination of things. One is we work hard at grow your own programs. So we have established partnerships inside of our schools. I'm going to give you an example of a grow your own program of how it works in a pipeline. So we have a program called Beyond the Bell, right? And so why is that relevant to folks in the realty world, right? So at every elementary school with partners, community partners, the parks, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Club, and actually over 50 different partners. We offer after-school programming at every one of our elementary schools, and parents pay as they choose. STEM, arts, activities, recreation. Tacoma Creates, City of Tacoma helps fund it. It's a blended model. Well, we have high school kids that come in and co-teach some of those classes. So they're getting teaching experience.
Wow.
They get a stipend as part of our Jobs 253. They get a city paycheck. Now, they're required to take financial literacy in order to get that paycheck.
I was wondering where that fit in.
Right? And they're getting high school credit. So we're building that in there. We also, in our high schools, we have a Teach 253 program that's in partnership with PLU, where they get priority enrollment status into PLU to be a teacher.
Wow.
So now young kids are seeing kids that look like them from their neighborhoods. They're getting mentored by really good educators in Tacoma, but they're seeing the pathway change of that. They can go locally, still be at home, get a good education program in that. We're building partnerships with UW-T and the Technology Access Foundation and Edgar Martinez Scholars. So we're building pathways so that families and they can stay here, go to school here, attend higher education here, and ultimately work back here in that space. And then, of course, we're recruiting all we can from all over the place and maintaining that. So, if you're a realtor or a family and you're moving in from outside the state, send us your resume. We're always looking. And at the same time, we realize that we have a responsibility to do that. We also want to lower those college debts, right? We want to give those opportunities. And so in some of those partnerships, we're giving people paid work experiences. So
nice.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. And I feel kind of bad that I maybe didn't grasp the whole picture. I just have this feeling that we're doing amazing things, and I hope that our real estate brokers can communicate that a little bit more, because one of the top questions that we get when we meet people is, how are the schools? And, we are limited at what we can say because of fair housing rules and, etiquette. So knowing that Tacoma has all those wonderful programs, I think agents can spend a little bit more time learning more about them.
Can I keep on going?
Yeah.
So do you know the Tacoma Public Schools pays for all of our high school kids to take as many AP and IB classes as they want and pay for the tests.
Wow.
And so we support that in the day. So we have some of the highest level college and the high school participation in any school district in the state.
That's amazing.
In that space. So
That's
one of our
awesome.
goals is to make sure that kids get that rigorous curriculum inside that space. I mentioned the club or the Beyond the Bell program. We had 20,000 participants last year participate in that program, in that partnership. Think about the stress as a family when you don't have to leave your neighborhood and you can work, right? And that there's after school options right there in your neighborhood with high quality community partners coming right there, and you get a snack and you get bus ride home and it's fun.
Right.
And there's music and there's arts and
I almost
professional
kinda wanna
artists.
Go back to school.
Well, let's pump the brakes a little bit, Jasmyn, right? You can come in and teach it, a guest teach it in that space.
Do you want me to teach something?
Absolutely, right? Have some fun with it in that space, right?
And so that would be
there's
fun.
so many, we have kids in world-class culinary arts programs and the arts programs, performing and visual, athletics programs. Our kids are exceeding at really high rates in that. And then, like I said, the paid job experiences, we want kids to be engaged. We want them to be healthy. We want them to be challenged in that space. And so we're working really hard every day. That we're very fortunate that our voters have supported us year after year. And so you see that we have these really beautiful buildings.
Yes.
And within that, we take a lot of pride in investing in the neighborhood, right? And so we partner with the parks to make sure that we invest in the city of Tacoma. We do as much as we can to make sure that those walkways are there. The streets are enhanced. that there's a park-like setting, the fields are there, because we know that's an investment in the neighborhood. And so we're wanting people to use those spaces in our facility. And we have some of the largest facility use all the time.
I saw recently an art installation by a local artist, Perry Paints, did some artwork around Stewart Middle School, and it was pretty neat to go see somebody that my daughter knows, her age, being able to share that with kids, not just in a gallery where you don't always have access. And what you're talking about, it really feels like a large effort to remove as many barriers as absolutely possible and to put students first, is what it sounds like.
100%. And you know, I'm glad you brought that up. You know, we are so fortunate to have the arts community here in Tacoma and Pierce County. And Hilltop Artists is one of our, Tacoma Arts Live, two amazing partnerships that we have, and both work with our after school programs and inside of our schools and do some amazing things. But there are so many other artists, right, that work in either summer late nights and a variety of other pieces. But we have been working really hard to bring artists in and trying to put visual art installations in our schools as well. Because I think it's so inspiring for a kid to see a local artist. And right now we're working with the Puyallup Tribe of Indians at the Maritime Skill Center.
Oh, wow.
And
is that being built next to a historical land preserve, or there's like a warrior training center or something that was there previously?
I'm not sure of the technical terms around
Okay,
historical or not in that, but I do know I have a little sneak peek of the installation, and I'm gonna leave. I think in the podcast world they call that a teaser or something like that.
I love a good teaser.
Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Okay. How do I get on the invite list?
I know somebody else that's in the podcast room that that you might be close to.
Do I need a slipper like?
I think
smoothie.
I think,
actually, she likes hot cocoa and croissants.
I think you know how to get there, but I will make sure that you get an invite list to that installation.
Thank you so much. Now you touched on this a little bit. I want to dig a little bit deeper about how we often talk about the importance of housing near strong schools, and you were talking about the neighborhoods and the partnerships and all of that. What would you say to families or real estate brokers who are considering Tacoma because of its school offerings? Because a lot of times I will have to talk to people about how great the Tacoma Public Schools are and correct people in our industry if they have something disparaging to say. So I think you are the appropriate person to comment on that.
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that people sometimes have bias, right, and don't do their homework. And so what I would say is, I guess my bias is I love Tacoma. I think it's beautiful in space. I would say to anybody and I'm a parent. And so I've raised kids that have gone through public schools, and I'd say, just take a breath and pause. What do you want from your neighborhood? And what does your school bring you to that neighborhood? In Tacoma, we're very fortunate that we have these amazing parks. We have these amazing cities. We have these amazing neighborhoods. And each one of them, and we really are a neighborhood city, right, when you think about it. And there's a school in each one of those neighborhoods. And that school brings tremendous assets. And you have to peel back a single measure to recognize that. And so they all have after-school programming that is in partnership with world-class artists, community partners. They have amazing facilities. They oftentimes have unique programs. I haven't even mentioned the IB programs or partnerships with the Rainier Scholars, partnerships with the Technology Acts. We are so big on partnerships. We know we can't do this work alone, and we don't try to. So we talk about it from the boardroom to the living room. How do we do it? And it's never perfect, but how do we strive to make it worth it, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're a family, take a moment. Don't just look on a website. What do you see? Go meet people. I think you'll fall in love with us. That's what I think.
I love that. I think you'll fall in love with that. Us. Can we use that as a hashtag for this podcast? Let's just use that for everything. Are you using that right now?
I'm not in charge of communications.
Okay, so
but there's somebody really intelligent that is
that on the
you can ask that
hot cocoa with the croissant to get to the event.
You're already in the event.
Okay.
Whatever you buy.
All right. Whatever I get her.
Whatever you smooze is on you.
All right. So we are getting pretty close to time, and I know that we want to talk about a couple more things. How do we work with community partners to better our own neighborhoods for our families?
Yeah, I think I've touched on that throughout a lot, and I would say
tie it up.
Yeah, in that space. But one of the amazing thing that our board has done is they've made that as a strategic plan goal for us with benchmarks. Is how many partnerships do we have, and what do we do, and why that's so important to community partner, to neighbors, to real estate agents and stuff is what gets measured gets done. And so when you think about that schools will never operate in isolation here in Tacoma. We're going to constantly be working on who can we partner to make the neighborhood better. Not only the city, the parks, the Boys and Girls Club, the Y, but we're also thinking about how do we use our resources as shared assets. We recognize that the better we can do that, what that means is lower taxes. Let's not duplicate services. Let's not duplicate facilities. And we've done an amazing job with that in our shared spaces. We have parks that are on school campuses and schools that are on, we have a school and a zoo, right? I mean, who else has a school and a zoo, right? In that space. And so when we do those things, it's better business plans. It's better use of taxpayer dollars. And so we're going to keep on doing those things. We're co-designing spaces, all in the betterment of the neighborhood. I think neighbors can come together and start to say to ourselves, let's keep an eye on our children. Let's greet them, right? I have had teenagers. I know that sometimes it's tough and awkward, but they need us, right?
Yeah.
How we've come together in this city and done summer late nights to make sure that they have a safe place. It's making a difference. You can volunteer in our schools. You can go onto our website. All of our volunteers have background checks done. They're safe in that space. We give them a safe place to share your passion. So,
So it's not just being a cross guard, you're engaging with the students.
But if you want to be a cross guard,
there's nothing wrong with being a cross guard.
100%. But if I got a chance to do that for a couple of days last week at a necessity, and it brings a smile to your face, because there's nothing like, being the first person that some of those kids see in the morning.
Right. They're just hopping along.
They're just hopping along, or they're hopping away, right?
There's that.
And they're excited to hop away some days too. And I don't get that.
What a cool job you have. I'm sitting here thinking about, oh goodness, the visual of the kid hopping towards the crosswalk, excited for school, or maybe it's the middle school kid that's got a little extra pep in their step because their teacher is engaging with them, and you get to see that, or you get to hear from the teacher the cool and exciting things. You guys do deal with a lot of stuff. There's students who pass away. There's all the family type of complications that come along with it. But I think that we don't spend enough time celebrating the beauty of what it is to work with kids. And I'm going to try not to cry.
Yeah, I think it's okay to cry. I think it's okay to feel the emotion of it, right? Like my job is hard. I love my work. My job is hard someday. But my job's not any harder than that crossing guard or the classroom teacher or the nutrition service person. When you're 100% in, you're 100% in. There's no such thing as 110%. It's 100%. And that's what I've learned, and really working in Tacoma for the last 14 years is there's so many people that are 100% in, so many community partners, so many family members. And so mine's no harder than theirs.
Yeah.
It's 100% hard some days. And we have these moments. And so, I think we have to do a better job of laughing.
You can invite me to the lunch.
Yep. And we'll try in that space, because you're right. There's a lot to cry about on a lot of days. And I think that's one thing I would ask all of us in our city to try to do is there's a lot more to celebrate than we give ourselves. And our kids need to see us do that.
Yeah.
We're not showing them enough that our kids in Tacoma are accelerating at really high rates. And we are not modeling what it means to say, and I'm not saying give everybody a ribbon.
Right.
I'm saying like they're competing and accelerating at high rates, and we've got to say like you're bucking trends, guys. Like good for you.
Yeah, I think, and my emotion came from the happy visualization of what feels like you guys are creating a really
We are. Realtors play a role in that, right? You keep our houses going, right?
We try.
You do. It's everybody's working together.
Yeah.
You know, we oftentimes we want to create this is the answer, right? Without recognizing everything in the world is connected to everything else.
Exactly.
In that moment, so if we're not helping people either sell their houses or buy the houses, it's a part of the ecosystem. So we're creating something special. Max has given us the hook already.
He's doing something over there. I see him sometimes out of the corner of my eye, and then the bright lights and got to see things. But anywho, this has been a really good conversation. So my question that I threw in here is, what's one thing you're most excited about for the future of Tacoma Public Schools? You've talked a lot about what's currently happening, the building, the interconnectedness, but tell me what you're excited about for the future.
You know, a long time ago, I made a decision that I know something special was going to happen. I just didn't know when. And that gives me a little bit of fuel every day. Maybe it happened already.
Interesting.
But maybe it hasn't happened yet.
Is it a secret?
No.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying to you is in that space is every day there's something really special in this. When you have 28,000 kids, there's so many magical moments in that space. So do we have some new initiatives? Not necessarily new initiatives, but our work around the whole child is going to keep on getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Our work around partnerships is going to keep on getting deeper and deeper and deeper. Do we have some more exciting things around how do we partner with folks to build better systems across the city? Absolutely. Will we get better? Absolutely. We will get better. I guarantee that we will get better. But
I believe you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel passionate about that. And I think we have the team of folks all across the district to do it. Mm-hmm. And I think our kids are just going to keep on accelerating. And so, I'm not prepared to say this one thing, but there's some.
That's fair.
There's some things up there.
Okay. So we'll have to follow along. What's the best source of information about Tacoma Public Schools that you think real estate professionals should be using?
I think the website, really honestly, is the website is pretty darn amazing. It's being regularly updated, regularly revised. I think a lot of folks I know go to their school website, which is great, but spend some time on the district website too, especially you realtors, right? Yeah. I think that's really important. You know, you want to get a big, broad overview of some of that pieces at the district website, and then you want to drill into a specific school website, but you miss some of the bigger, broader pieces when you just go to a school website.
Yeah,
so
agreed. That makes a lot of sense.
I'd spend some time on the district website.
All right, folks, do we hear that? Call to action, school district websites. So let's have some fun. Not that you don't have fun. I mean, you do pretty serious work. But real quick, another thing that came to mind when you said 28,000 students is I imagine 28,000 sparklers that are getting lit and burning towards this goal. It just was an interesting thing that popped into my head as you were talking about, even though you didn't say it, what you're most excited about, I can feel the spark, like that 28,000 opportunities for something great and amazing, I think, is part of what I'm feeling. Okay, so if you had to pick one thing, I can tell you're hard to pin down on one thing. You're not?
No, I'm not going to pick one thing.
You're not going to pick one anyways?
No.
You don't even know the question.
I know, but people do this, right? Like, why pick your favorite song? Like, nope, there's so many beautiful... I'm not even going to ask
you that.
I know, but there's so many beautiful things in the world. I'm not going to pick the one thing.
When is your birthday?
Can't say that.
What month? Okay. Somebody asked me the other day what my favorite color was, and I gave that kind of answer. Like, how do you pick a favorite color when they're all beautiful?
I know.
It's ridiculous.
I do like black and red and green and blue and yellow.
Thank you. All of them.
Brown's pretty cool. Pink's kind of fun too.
Okay,
Silver's
well,
really
there we go. You do not want to decide on your favorite color, even though that was not what I was going to ask you. Okay. This has been fun. I think I want to hang around you a little bit more. You're pretty cool. Plus, we got the whole tattoo thing going on, so I think that is awesome.
Right.
There's more. Okay. Well, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. We're just into the beginning of the school year. I'm pretty sure you had lots to be doing, but you took time out to come speak to the Realtors. And if there's any closing message you'd like to give to us as an industry that would help our community, please share that with us.
I just want to thank you and Max for your time today. I want to thank the Realtors for all your support of public education. I think it's very important that you do that, and all educators and all schools. I know you guys have a very important task. And then, like I said, please just take a little bit of time. Even if it's not our school district, wherever you are, spend some time getting to know your schools. I think you are a trusted voice that really makes a difference. And so that's not a light task, right, to be that trusted voice. And so please, if there's anything that we can do to give you some information, we want to be your trusted partner.
Great. That's wonderful. Thank you. This has been a good conversation. But, all good things must come to an end. So that's going to wrap up our podcast. Thank you again for joining us. And just a reminder that you can follow us online. We're on YouTube. Please click like, follow, forward, subscribe, all of the lovely things. And if you found this episode helpful, don't forget to share it with your colleagues. And thank you again, Sterling Inspection Group, Tacoma Public Schools, for lending us Dr. Joshua Garcia, also known as Josh, for joining us on the Around the Block podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.